Steve Brant is an independent researcher, theorist, and speaker on how international development movement can achieve the goal of a peaceful and prosperous world. Steve really is a futurist. That's how I refer to him. I also say he's a brainiac. Is that okay, Steve? You're a brainiac.
As long as you don't confuse me with the Brainiac in the Superman comic.
Since 1979, he's known that the scarcity-based economic theory is obsolete and it needs to be replaced. And so his focus is on educating ordinary people like us and bringing us into the sustainable development process, knowing that the world's political leaders will not implement version 2.0, and he will probably talk about that, of our global socio-political economic system until people like us demand it. So this is going to be informative, educational, we'll be able to ask questions. He's a civil engineer and he brings that to the building environment side of society, and his involvement in the fields of organizational development, corporate social responsibility. He's active with the United Nations through the UN Global Compact and politics. And so he really understands the developmental changes that humanity is going through. His work has foundations from some very great intellectuals, doctors Buckminster Fuller, Edwards Deming, W. Edwards Deming, and Russell Ackoff, who's at University of Pennsylvania? Yes. And each of them, including Steve, call for the transformation of society through systems-based redesign efforts. Steve is currently blogging on the Huffington Post, so feel free to go there, and he's going to turn his post into a forthcoming book. So I welcome all of you, and Steve.
Thank you very much.
Did you write that? Did you write it?
I wrote it and she edited it. And she asked me if she could edit it, and I said, of course. You know, I believe in the KISS principle, keep it simple, stupid. And I sometimes don't succeed, but anytime I can have someone help me make my words simpler, I do. And you're looking at my screensaver here. This is our president interacting with babies. I believe it was on the campaign trail. And I deleted the one picture that came with this set, which was of President Bush interacting with a baby who was crying. It was like joke email. Welcome.
How are you?
Fine, thanks. So let's. There we go. Okay, so I'm really happy some of you are here for the second time. I'm also happy that some of you are here for the first time, so that you can all meet each other, those who are in those two categories. Would you please go around briefly? And here's what I'd like to say. I was thinking over lunch that in order for us to get to know each other under the assumption that we are potentially going to be part of an ongoing project, not just coming to find out about stuff, but we're looking today at whether you want to sign on and be involved with this. If you could tell the group who's the greatest inspiration in your life, the person or book or something that really felt inspired, learned a lot from, and I will model that, answering the question first, and saying that the book that just opened my eyes at the age of 24 was Operating Manual for Spaceship Earth, written by Buckminster Fuller, given to me out of the blue by an architect I was working with. I was a civil engineer at the time, and that book portrayed this alternative, very hopeful reality that I had never seen talked about anyplace else. It certainly wasn't in the newspapers, and that eye-opener set me on the course I'm still on today. So that's my little introduction. And by the way, it's okay if you want to pass. You don't have to do this. Something I learned once in a workshop. But I'd like to invite you all to, and you don't even have to go in order. But I do want us to meet for a few minutes here at the beginning.
Okay, I'm Joan Perriman. I'm an attorney, even though I'm not really actively practicing right now. But I think the book that's inspired me the most is the Bible. And it may sound kind of odd and off-key, but I think it's inspired me because I realize that there's a tremendous amount of wisdom in the Bible. You know, the more I read it, the more I find that, you know, whether you're dealing with a personal problem or a business problem or a global problem, I mean, whatever issue comes up in your life, for some reason there always seems to be an answer in the Bible. And so I think that there's a tremendous amount of wisdom in there that if we were to tap into it, you know, not necessarily from a religious perspective, but just tap into it from a business perspective even, I think we'd find solutions to a lot of the problems that plague us today. I mean, and I think, I mean, I see some raised eyebrows because I think that historically people have used the Bible to, you know, to target specific groups or to, you know, pursue some specific cause and use the Bible as a sort of justification for that. But very often when you look into those specific areas, you find that what the Bible says and what that particular group is portraying the Bible say is dramatically different. So I'm focusing more in terms of a very more non-biased, you know, perspective of the Bible.
Thank you, Joe. And just if I can offer a little word of advice, you don't have to justify who or what has inspired you. This is just like in brainstorming, any idea is okay. I want us all to be respectful of whatever people have as the touchstone in their life. But I appreciate you realizing some people find that a little strange. This is great. Thanks, Joe.
My name is Meredith. My father used to play the oboe, and it's considered one of the most, if not the most difficult instrument to play because it has a double reed. In the 50s, you couldn't just go into a music store and buy a double reed for an oboe. He had to shave his own. And when he cracked it after shaving it for 3 hours, you could hear, you know, and then he'd start again. His favorite quote was, "To rest is to rust." And so sometimes when I take a vacation in my mind, I think, to rest is to rest, and I get motivated again. So I share that with you. To rest is to rest. His persistence, that's really what it is. I think Steve is, since he's been on this case since 1979, and it took me 15 years to write a book. So, I mean, persistence, that's really what I'm saying.
Hi, well, my name is Jim. I'm a software developer. I will share a similar story about my dad. One of his favorite sayings is, if you wake up, get up. If you get up, do something.
Oh, great.
So that's sort of the attitude of just like just doing things or whatever. I think my list of favorite books is very long, but one that comes to mind is The Mythical Man Month by Fred Brooks. And this is just all about developing software and all the things that go wrong when you're doing that and how to sort of prevent those problems from occurring rather than waiting for the problems to occur and then trying to fix it. And I think that's the perspective that I take when I look at these things is how can we design something that rather than waiting for things to break and then expend huge amounts of energy to fix what's broken, has something that will run correctly in the first place.
Thank you.
My name is Ben. I'm currently unemployed and working, sort of representing Organizing for America here in New York State. And I'd say the person that inspired me the most is my father. He was born in not such a good part of Manhattan. He was younger, the Lower East Side, and fought all his life to get out of it, and I respect him for that.
Hi, my name is Trayvon. I am a software developer as well, but on telecom. From a person who actually I find really inspirational is Gandhi. For no better reason than to say that he introduced a new way of political dissent of nonviolence, but more than that, the fact that he was able to channel all that energy into something totally different than how people usually express dissent. That was a paradigm shift. That was a shift in having people's consciousness observe the world this way. So, which is essentially what is required for an effort such as what you're undertaking. So it's not just a structural thing, but it's a psychological thing as well. So to overcome that, need a mixture of both, and hence I think it's probably happening. So